I just picked up Alex from school. How was your day?
Good.
Pretty good, except for you had to get braces.
Oh, yeah.
How do they feel?
They kind of hurt a little bit.
They do? You'll probably
that's part of it.
You'll probably get used to them pretty soon.
Yeah.
Did you all talk about 9/11 at school today at all?
No.
I'm really surprised about that.
I know. When I was at the dentist this morning, I noticed they had the 9/11 program thing going.
Huh. Nobody said anything about 9/11?
Not really.
Excuse me. Well, that's why I wanted to do a little video and kind of, I think it's important that parents teach their kids to remember these types of, happenings. I mean, you remember what happened, right?
Well, I know what happened, but I don't remember because I was only one.
What's your impression of what happened?
2 planes crashed into the Twin Towers.
Right. But there were terrorists that hijacked the planes, right? I remember when I was sitting, I was working for an architecture firm. I guess you were like a year and a half old. Well, you were getting ready to turn
I was going to turn 2 in like
2,
a week.
Yeah, in a week, because your birthday's coming up pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be a man. You're going to be 13. Excuse me. I was sitting in a meeting. I was a project manager for an architecture firm, and our office manager came in the meeting room, the conference room, and I remember the look on her face, and I remember thinking, oh my gosh, what's happened? I thought something had happened to you or your mom, because you could just tell by the look on her face that something was wrong. And she called everybody. She said, you guys need to come, come now. And we all went into the office, and they were talking about, the first plane had hit the first tower. And I just remember all of that very clearly when I don't remember much else that happened that day or that week or that month. It's just kind of amazing how those kinds of life events you remember.
It's kind of weird how it's kind of like how when I just remember tiny bits and pieces of things that happened when I was tiny. I don't remember anything else really at all.
But like I said, I think it's important that parents teach their kids, to remember these kinds of things, because, that whole attack was an attack on, American freedom. And 3,000 people lost their lives that day. There was another plane that struck the Pentagon. And there was another plane that was, apparently headed towards the White House or that area, and the people on board that plane took it upon themselves to rush the cockpit, and they stopped that effort. That terrorist effort was put down, but they lost their lives protecting whoever those people were going to kill. So on that one day you had people who died, Americans who died. And I'm sure there were other people besides Americans who died also, excuse me. But the point is, you had people who died and people who gave their lives at the same time on the same day for our country. I just think it's amazing, and that needs to be remembered. And the victims need to be remembered, and all of the people who tried to help, the first responders. I just heard on the news, today that they finally are admitting that all of the smoke and soot and rubble that the first responders breathed in are going to basically probably cause cancer, and they're going to apparently take care of those people. So, we just need to remember the families that were killed, the first responders that helped. And then we need to remember, our soldiers that went to battle after that to try to hunt down the people who did the harm to our country. So, there's a lot to remember. We remember people in the military who die every day, defending our country and keeping it free. And remembering those first responders and remembering those families that died. So I just think it's important, and I appreciate you letting me talk to you about it. Do you have any thoughts about it, or? Well, I appreciate you letting me talk to you about it, and we'll just keep remembering, okay? Thanks, guys.